Our story takes us to the highlands of Ethiopia, to the land of Gojjam, where power, intrigue, and ambition shaped one of the most controversial figures in Ethiopian history. His Highness Ras Hailu Tekle Haimanot, Prince of Gojjam, a man of immense wealth, bold wit, and a legacy stained by both honor and betrayal. Born into the royal family, Ras Hailu was the son of King Tekle Haimanot of Gojjam. At the height of his power, he was believed to be the richest man in Ethiopia, but wealth alone couldn't shield him from controversy. During the reign of Emperor Menelik II, Ras Hailu was convicted of fraud and accused of plotting the death of a subordinate, but he was later pardoned and returned to favor. He remained a central figure in Ethiopian politics, until his unwavering loyalty to the deposed heir, Lige Iyasu, led to his downfall. Convicted of treason for plotting to restore Lige Iyasu to the throne, Ras Hailu was sentenced to death, but the sentence was later reduced to life in prison, and his vast fortune was confiscated. But Ras Hailu's story didn't end there. When the fascist Italian forces invaded Ethiopia in 1936, Ras Hailu made a fateful decision. He became the most prominent Ethiopian collaborator with the Italian occupiers, a move that would tarnish his legacy forever. But, ever the opportunist, Ras Hailu switched sides when the tide turned. In 1941 he welcomed Emperor Haile Selassie back to Ethiopia in Debre Marcos, during the liberation from Italian occupation. Throughout his life, Ras Hailu's cleverness and his sharp wit made him both loved and loathed. One story, in particular, highlights his quick thinking and pride in his heritage. In 1923, Ras Hailu joined the then Crown Prince of Ethiopia, Rastafari Makonnen, later known as Emperor Haile Selassie, on a tour of Europe. In London, the Ethiopian delegation was presented to King George V and Queen Mary at Buckingham Palace. When King George was introduced to Ras Hailu, he asked a simple question: "Does His Highness speak English?" The interpreter replied, "No." King George then asked, "Does he speak French or German?" Again the interpreter said no. Amused, King George turned to the interpreter and said, "Tell His Highness that he is ignorant." But Ras Hailu, ever the quick thinker, smiled and asked the interpreter, "Ask His Majesty, does he speak Amharic?" The king shook his head. "Does he speak Tigrinya or Guragigna?" Once again the king's answer was no. Ras Hailu then instructed the interpreter, "Tell His Majesty that he is just as ignorant as I am." King George, upon hearing the bold response, burst into laughter and took an instant liking to Ras Hailu, the proud and witty Prince of Gojjam. Ras Hailu Tekle Haimanot lived a life of wealth, power, betrayal, and redemption. A man who walked among kings. A man whose legacy still stirs debate in Ethiopia today. History remembers him as both a patriot and a traitor, but one thing is certain: Ras Hailu Tekle Haimanot was never afraid to speak his mind.